I wish to stand in support of Senator Dodson's statements and the tabling of this report. Madam Deputy President, I certainly would like to just remind the Senate that this time 12 months ago, the issue of a voice to the parliament was an issue that was almost destroyed when the then Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull said no to the First Nations people of Australia, said no to the people who gathered at Uluru and recommended through the Referendum Council for a voice to this parliament. I would like to commend in particular, Madam Deputy President, the work of both the co-chairs on this committee, Julian Leeser, MP, a coalition member who, despite the movement of his own leadership and the opposition of his own party, has navigated a very respectful, considered journey with this committee, along with Senator Patrick Dodson as co-chairs. It's very important, Madam Deputy President, to put on the record the work of this parliamentary committee. A lot of people can say that parliamentary committees, and that there are so many parliamentary committees, maybe too many parliamentary committees. But I have to say and put on the record that the work of the Greens, the work of the Independent, Cathy McGowan, and the other members, along with Julian Leeser, in the coalition, has been important work. It is important work for this parliament. It is important work for democracy in this country. We know we all come from different viewpoints, but the real challenge here, Madam Deputy President, has been about staying together on this journey. Where I come from as a Yanyuwa woman, we call that journey Gudyaga. It is our songline when we travel and walk together. That's what's happened over these past 6-8 months of people who come from different ideologies and backgrounds and yet firmly believe the importance of what was said at Uluru, wanted to make sure it was revived and kept alive in the Parliament of Australia. This report, tabled today, will have different opinions reached by many people who read it, and that's okay. That's what a democracy is about. And as Senator Dodson says, the Greens will have something to say, Senator Stoker will have something to say, but that is our democracy. What we have to do here, and what the challenge is here for every single politician in this place and the other, is that we have to find the one common thing, the one thing that we have to hold on to bring us to what I firmly believe is the voice to the Australian Parliament for First Nations people. That is what we have to hold on to, Madam Deputy President. And we have to hold on to it in a way that respects the cultural differences of every single person in this place, but rises above those differences to acknowledge the importance of First Nations people in this country and the lack of their voice to this place. So when we move forward from here, and I ask all members, all senators, that moving forward means we do so with respect. We are not going to agree. We are going to come from different geographic spaces, different philosophical ideas, but I call on you to believe in the fundamental importance of First Nations people needing a voice to this parliament, needing it in the right way. We want constitutional recognition. We want to have the voice enshrined in the Australian Constitution. I believe that there are enough people in this country who will make that happen, that our country will be swept up in the goodwill and the good hearts and the graciousness of so many Australians who see way too much injustice, compounded by the lack of empowerment, compounded by the lack of sincere consultation and dialogue over policies, compounded by poverty and disadvantage, extreme disadvantage, whether by geography or whether just by financial situations. I call on every senator, every member of parliament to know that this is what the First Nations people want. We want a voice to the Australian Parliament in an advisory capacity. I challenge you as you go on your Christmas break. I challenge you as you look into your New Year's resolutions. I challenge you to rise above your fears of the First Nations people in this country. I challenge you to be unafraid. I challenge you to allow our country to be the best that it can be. And the only way we can do that, senators, is when we allow First Nations people to take our rightful place in democracy in this country. We stand in this place each day and we talk about the Westminster system of governance, and we talk about procedural matters. And then we ask every February, when Close the Gap comes in the statement to the Parliament, why are we not making a difference to the lives of First Nations people? Every year for nearly 10 years we have been asking that question in the Parliament of Australia every February. Well, as you go away, as you reflect on this year and as you prepare for next year, I urge you, senators and members of Parliament, to think about First Nations people. We've been here for over 60,000 years. And guess what? We ain't going away.